Well, greetings for color fans, and welcome back to Meteorology channel. And I'm very excited today because I'm doing a support video for my buddy, my brother, my good friend, Mike Smith, better known to you as Night Tiger Comics. And Mike and I have been friends for several years now. We actually first met when I was living in Mississippi, but we have met various times since then. And hopefully we'll meet again soon here when he comes up my way, or I'll go down his way. But he's having a 2,000 subscriber giveaway. He's way above that. He's, I think, closer to 2,400 at this point. But he's a busy man. You know, he's he does a lot of driving all over the country, and you know, he's got his family and grandchildren, children, you know, he's got a busy life. So I can understand why it might have taken a while, but he always has time for us as well, because he's making his videos and he's doing giveaways like this, a very generous one. If you look at his video, which of course I will link below, so that you hopefully will be able to, if you're not subbed, I don't know where you've been, but you should sub and, you know, enter his contest as well, because let me tell you, that prize, whoa, I mean, golden age in there, silver, bronze, I mean, all kinds of stuff, keys and all this stuff. I wouldn't mind winning it myself, but that's not the main thrust of my entry here. It is because, you know, I just think he deserves our support, okay, here in the community. So what does he want us to do to enter the contest? I'm glad you asked, because this is what he put there in his video. First of all, subscribe. You know, that's easy enough. You hit a button, right? That's zero next to 0.005 effort there. Make a video, which I am doing like this here, and link it in the comments of his contest announcement video, which again, I will link below so that you can go right to it. And now come the questions that he wants us to answer. And he wants us to, you know, really think about it, you know, give valid reasons. Don't just, you know, say, you know, just because I like it, you know, that's no cop off stuff. All right. So why this actually is one question, but it's really depending on where you stand, right? Why don't you collect Golden Age? And I give a valid reason for that. All right. But if you do collect Golden Age, again, say why. Why do you? All right. So, do I collect Golden Age? I would say I am a opportunistic and casual Golden Age collector. It is not the thrust of my collection, which I'll get into later on. But I truly do enjoy the Golden Age of comics. It's incredible variety. Here I have a few just to show you while I'm talking. Incredible variety. It's just everything under the sun, you know, you can think of in the Golden Age. It's there. And I love the promotional and giveaways. So they had so many of those. General Electric is one that I really enjoy from the Golden Age. I'm putting everything Golden Age as like pre-code, comics code, okay? I also like the quirky and obscure publishers, you know, that, you know, and in fact, I have a what I call a one-shot publisher collection, which is comics that had exactly one, publishers that did exactly one comic, and we're not, you know, we're not part of other publishing houses. So yeah, I do collect Golden Age, as I told you, especially when it comes to the promotionals and the giveaways and the quirky ones and those one-shot publishers. I think the only one I'm missing is Slapstick Comics from 1946. Really tough to find. These are the kinds of things that I'm talking about that I just adore. These are the Mighty Midget comics, and there were 2 volumes of them. They were all Fawcett characters in this volume, and I ran across these many years ago for, you know, next to nothing. You know me, Mike, you know, if it's not cheap, it's not me, right? So I really, these are, they're like 2 color. I mean, some have red in there, besides black and white, some are maybe green. This is the one that's kind of more spendy, or I guess you could say, if you're from the West Coast, Bullet Man. Anyway, so you know the kind of stuff I like, but anyway, I wanted to put it here in the video. So besides that, right? What is your favorite era of comic publishing and collecting? Well, I don't think it comes to any surprise that my favorite is the Bronze Age, because those are the comics I picked up as a kid, starting in the summer of 1973, which when I first went to a 7-Eleven and saw that glorious spinner rack, and picked out about a couple dollars worth of comics, and I took them home. Now, I had read comics before that, okay, because in school we would do some trade gambling kind of stuff, and my brother also collected comics, so I did read comics, but they were, they were just sporadic things. There were some Metal Men, some Richie Rich, and some Archie, some Spider-Man, etc. But I didn't know that there were that many titles, and they were so available. Of course I was, what, 8 years old or whatever. So definitely the Bronze Age is my favorite. And you want to know the favorite publisher as well, right? Of that era. That's tough, but I'm going to say, back then I would have said Marvel, but today I'm going to say Charlton is my favorite. Only because they're just, it's so quirky and different. The comics are terrible, as far as how they're manufactured. There's no quality control, but there's stuff like E-Man, the horror titles like Scary Tales and Creepy Things, Yang, and House of Yang. I mean, they're just so, I don't know, they're just attractive to me just because they're so odd and quirky, and they are not widely collected, right? So I'm gonna say Charlton is my favorite publisher of my favorite era, which is the Bronze Age of comics. Okay, all right. So 5. Again, why is that your favorite? Okay, fine. Now he wants us to show him. Here's a few more that I'm showing you here. Again, these are just, again, opportunistic. These two I got from Rayman the Silencer Man, 3D comics. These are just so cool, right? They just are. And here's one of my prizes, the Atomic Thunderbolt #1. Again, it's a one-shot publisher. This is the only comic that they published. Rigor, which is, I believe, Roger spelled backwards. Maybe he has something to do with it. Maybe there's some kind of synchronicity there. And I got this long ago. I think in the early 90s. So it was dirt cheap, $20 or something. Maybe not even that. But this is the prize of my collection right here, Mike. And I think it comes as no surprise, right? And the origin of why this is my favorite is that when I was a youngin, and I went into I think it was a comic shop or an antique store. I don't remember now if it was maybe a combination. We're talking a long time ago, very late 70s, I would think, right? And I saw this up on the wall, and immediately was just it almost like. It was almost like the girl and the ghoul were coming towards me, like they were coming out of the cover. It had such a 3D effect to me, and such detail. This is Kelly Freas, his only horror cover in comics. He did stuff for magazines, and he did a few. I have some other comics that he did, but this is his only horror cover. And since then, I've wanted one of these forever, right? But it's a very pricey book. But of course, because of this community, I have a lot of friends, and one of them is Lawrence Everett, and he was of the Go-To Geeks. He also later on became his channel was the King of Comics. He's no longer doing video because he's a very busy man, and he found this in a flea market for part of it just was in a group of comics, right? And when he showed it to me, I was like, hey, Lawrence, could we trade for that? Of course he did. Now, as you can see, it's very rough. It had no back cover, and that perimeter there was all chipped. However, because of another friend of the community, Jerry the Jitterbug. I gave it to him when I met him over in South Carolina when we were both on vacation. And you can see there's the provenance of the of the comic. It was worked on by Jerry the Jitterbug back in 2022. This is one of his earlier comics that he worked on. He's obviously grown out of the stratosphere, and rightly so, because he's done amazing work for this community and for teaching us how to work on our own comics as well. For that reason, because of that stayed in my head when I was young, and I've always wanted it. But by the way, Mike, this is not slabbed. I've read this comic several times. Really good stories in there, by the way. And Jerry did an amazing job conserving this and making it so readable, because honestly, it was such a mess. Who knows how long it was in that flea market or in a box in an attic or something for who knows how long. So now it is, here, appreciated, love, and on my wall here, which I see every day. So that is my entry, my friend. Again, you said have fun. I had a lot of fun making this video, let me tell you. Being able to support you is always an honor, By the way, the contest ends on March 31st. Okay, so you got, 2-3 weeks now. But, don't wait forever, because then, you start forgetting, you have other things to do. As soon as you can, get an entry in. Trust me, you'll want that prize package, no doubt about it. It's an incredible, and very generous prize. All right, and thank you, Mike, again for all you do for this community and how generous you are with us. Truly, you are a incredible asset. An incredible friend to me and to the community. All right, everybody, be kind to each other, be blessed, and be back.